So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, brought to you today by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at www.audiblepodcast.com/MrMedia, and you'll find more than 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player. That's audiblepodcast.com/MRmedia. All right, so where was I before the commercial? All right, Mr. Media is recorded live from the world's new media capital and hometown of actors Angela Bassett, Patrick Wilson, and Monica Raymond, St. Petersburg, Florida. It's always fun to welcome familiar faces and voices to the show, and today I get that pleasure with actress Elaine Hendrix. Probably best known for her role in The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan and Natasha Richardson, Elaine is one of those beautiful, distinctive actresses who is always working. In fact, she joins us today to discuss the release of two upcoming films, Good Intentions and Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. Now, listen to the trailer for Good Intentions, which stars Elaine with a Southern accent.
Here comes Mom!
What's going to happen when I start this car?
Nothing.
You sure about that? Because the circus is in town and Mama's on edge.
Meet Etta Milford.
Got change on $1?
She's got a sister on the cusp of wedded bliss.
He doesn't say much anymore. No, he just comes home from work and turns on the TV.
I think you need to close down the fun factory for a while. Let him know admission ain't free.
A hard-working husband.
Your fireworks bill came. He's going to spend all of our money on them crazy inventions.
Did you ever see a Swiss Army knife with a cigarette lighter?
All the time.
Really?
And two boys bound for college.
Can I try it? You're too young. I didn't even touch these till I was 8.
But when Chester's good intentions go up in smoke,
Oh, man.
she takes their financial future into her own hands.
Don't move. Put the money in the bag. Hey, SWAT team, he already left.
I'm gonna get this son of a bitch. You ever handle a firearm before?
Can't say that I have.
What the hell are you doing with a wolf in a car?
Next time Chester's robber buddy shows up, he's gonna be in for a big ass surprise.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. Jesus, and as you have been robbing your own husband, I am investing in their future.
Every time your husband gets robbed, you waltz in here flush with cash.
You're buying furniture that we don't need. I hate her.
Not furniture, just investments. You cannot be thinking about doing this again. I haven't thought it through yet. Yeah.
A heartwarming comedy about blackmail, robbery,
No, Netta, you don't strike me as a murdering type.
Put your hands up!
and family values. Luke Perry, Elaine Hendrix, and Grammy Award winner Leanne Rives. Good Intentions.
Mr. Simmons, I am molding a young man here. Please do not contradict me, Ms. Mold.
You can see the entire trailer at www.goodintentionsmovie.com. That's solid, goodintentionsmovie.com. And Elaine will also be seen in the March 4th episode of The Mentalist. Like I said, she works a lot. And perhaps less well known is that Elaine is involved with several animal rights organizations. She appears in the upcoming documentary Skin Trade about the fur industry and is slated to appear on the cover of an upcoming issue of American Dog magazine. So, with all that said and played, Elaine, welcome back to Mr. Media.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
How you been? No, glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Yeah, I've been busy.
It certainly seems like it. So I'll just go ahead and take credit and say I'm glad you're enjoying that Mr. Media radio bump that everyone gets. I can't even say that with straight face. Yeah.
I owe it all to you, Bob.
I know, and thank you for acknowledging that. Like I said, I can't even say it with a straight face. I don't know how other people do that. So tell us about Good Intentions. The trailer was quite funny, and I love the accent.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm originally from the South, so it was pretty easy for me to turn on. And Good Intentions is sort of a labor of love. I met the lead filmmakers, the producers, Richard Sampson and Pamela Peacock of Shadowlight Pictures a few years ago. And we shot a sales trailer for it, went around and pitched it. raised the money and then finally shot the full-length feature, and it's coming out, and it will be out on March 9th on DVD. And people can also purchase it. I know you mentioned the site to view the trailer, but they can also purchase it there. And if they put in the code IDAUSA, 10% of the profits will go to my organization in defense of animals.
Oh.
Tell me about all that.
Again? That's cool. What's the name of the organization again? In
Defense of Animals.
Okay. We'll make sure we mention that again before we're done.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Is there a website for
In Defense of Animals?
Yeah.
That is idausa.org. I'll say that again slower. idausa.org.
Great. All right. Good. So I'm sorry, you were about to say something about the movie, and I cut you short.
Oh, well, just to say that it's a comedy. It's a very quirky, sweet movie. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it's got some unique and fun little twists to it, and I think people will like it. It's just something to sit back and watch and enjoy and feel good about watching. You know, there's no big tragedy, no big explosions, nobody dies. So, it is something that people can watch and feel good after they see it.
Is your hair played by a 3D avatar, though?
No, but my skin is.
Would it be a bad thing if I said that it looks like a pilot for a sitcom?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm sure Richard and Pamela would love to see it turned into a sitcom.
I don't know. All I've been able to see, of course, because the movie hasn't been released yet, is the trailer. But the characters are so broad, and the accents, and Luke Perry looks to be playing kind of a sweet doofus. It just seemed like it'd make a great weekly kind of event.
Well, I don't think we'll be seeing it anytime soon, but that's a nice thought.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me. All right. Tell me about working with Luke and Leanne Rimes, who I'm assuming is fairly new to this kind of thing.
Yes, this was Leanne's first film where she played, had a supporting role as a character, not just playing herself, and had a whole arc to her. And she and I play sisters, and we've been friends for many, many years. So as co-producer, I brought her onto the film, and of course we were lucky to have her. She also contributes some of her songs to the film, so that'll be on the soundtrack. And then Luke got on board after we'd gotten a casting director and started making some offers, and I met with him here in LA because the filmmakers are back in Georgia, the director as well, Jim Isa. And we shot it back in Georgia. So I was out here and met with Luke and got him on board. And then Jimmy Simpson is hysterical. He's been on, what's the Sunny in Philadelphia show?
Oh, yeah. So on the FX network, sure.
Yeah. And then John Grice, who I just absolutely adore. He did one of my favorite movies, Napoleon Dynamite, among 1,000 other things. So we had a really great cast who was willing to show up and work hard and have a lot of fun, and I think it translates onto the screen.
You mentioned a minute ago in passing you were a co-producer. Is that? And I think I saw where you've gotten involved behind the scenes, behind the camera on some other pictures. Is this something new in your career?
Well, I've produced live events for about 20 years, and a few years ago I decided that I wanted to start translating that into film and now even some television work. I like exercising that part of my brain, and I like helping to create projects, especially that can showcase women. So it's for the screen, it's a relatively new part of my work, but the producing itself, like I said, I've been doing for years, and I enjoy it.
What?
I do like it. It demands a whole different set of skills, and I like being able to, to do that.
Well, tell me if I have this right, that you directed a film called The Cloggers, and you're producing and starring in Friends of Dorothy. Do I have that right?
Mm-hmm. Well, both of those were shorts, and
wow.
So they were shorts, and we just kind of wrapped those up this past fall, and we're still deciding what we're going to do. We've had interest. Each one kind of has its own path going on, but like Friends of Dorothy, we've had interest in making it into a web show, and then we're setting them up at some festivals, so they're just kind of starting. But they're fun, and I love doing short films. I've done several of them, and they're just kind of fun, creative little projects to do.
Is Friends of Dorothy, does that refer to Dorothy Gale, or is that something else?
No, it's something else. Friends of Dorothy is code for being gay.
Oh.
And so.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what is the film about?
It's about a woman named Dorothy who grew up in Kansas and discovered after several years of dating her high school sweetheart that the reason nothing ever went further with them is because he decides to come out of the closet. And so she moves to the big city to start her life anew and falls for a guy, and sure enough, it turns out he's gay too. And then she just finds herself in this world of, I guess, the pink posse, you could call them. And her coming to accept that and the changes that she goes through. And so we've kind of mapped out a longer version of just the short.
Okay. Hi, Elaine, we have a call. I'm hoping it's a real call. Do you mind? We'll see what it is.
As opposed to a fake call.
Could be, well, it could be anything. Hi, do you have a comment or question for Elaine Hendrix?
Hi, this is Victoria, and I have a question for Elaine.
Okay.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Elaine. I was calling to find out if she has any suggestions for young actresses that are coming into the business. What does she suggest, and also does she have a Twitter?
Those are very good questions. I do. Well, we'll start with the Twitter because that's the easier of the two answers. And it's Elaine, the number 4, animals. So again, Elaine 4 animals. That's my Twitter. And then advice for young actresses. I have never really advocated for anyone to get into the business. I think it's a really hard business. It's a very subjective business. And so I always tell people, if you absolutely cannot picture yourself doing anything else, and this is just what you want more than anything, and you're willing to work hard and you have thick skin, then go for it. But if you don't have those things, or if you don't just absolutely want to eat, breathe, and sleep this business, don't even start, because you're setting yourself up for a lot of heartache. There's plenty of other ways to exercise creativity, to get into like community theater, or, if you're in school, to get involved in school projects. Make films with your friends, but to really get into this business, you've got to just want it, just desire it, and then work really, really hard.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask one more question?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
I recently read that you're an animal activist. Do you work closely with any animal organizations?
I do. As we talked a little bit about it at the beginning, I am on the board of directors of In Defense of Animals, and They are an international organization. Our main office is in California. We also have offices in India and Africa and the sanctuary in Mississippi. We have campaigns that range from puppy mills, which are a very hot topic these days, to fur, to elephants, particularly in circuses and being poached, to foie gras, and on and on and on. So we work with domestic, wild, land animals, aquatic animals, a very wide range. So people can check out In Defense of Animals at idausa.org.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for
Thank
calling.
you.
Have a great day.
You too.
I've got that site in front of me now, idausa.org. You can. I see you can even get an In Defense of Animals debit MasterCard, and I guess contribute that way. So go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, there's several ways. I mean, I have checks with their logo on them. You can get T-shirts, mugs. Even instead of using Google, if you go to goodsearch.com, it's a search engine, and you can select different charities. So, we're always trying to find ways to raise money on behalf of our work for the animals and their environments.
Very good. Speaking of animals, how's this for a transition? You also have a role. You also have a role in the Beverly Hills Chihuahua sequel.
I do. This is my, third or fourth. Well, it's my third Disney film, and then I've worked for Disney, other aspects of Disney, Touchstone and ABC and whatnot. ABC Family, I've done many projects for them. So the Disney family has been very, very good to me, and this is the sequel to their hugely successful first movie, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. I'm not sure when it comes out. I'm not sure the whole plan of it, but I wanted to do it. Number one, of course, I love working for Disney, but number two, it I think gives me a really great platform to reach a younger audience and help educate them on adoption and caring for companion animals.
I assume that you made darn sure that no animals were harmed in the making of that film.
Oh yeah, the animals were treated very, very well. Yeah, they had a whole area set up for themselves. Like each one had their own trainer and special foods and equipment, and they were only allowed to work at certain times, and they treated them very, very well.
Now tell me about your role in that film. Just so you know, I looked and looked. I couldn't find a release date, and I couldn't find a trailer. So just if anybody else can find it, power to you. But I couldn't find it. So what is your role in this film?
Yeah, well, no, it's not even done yet.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's gonna be a little while. But I play the meanie. I tend to play a lot of meanies with Disney. So I am the antagonist, and I like it that way.
Why? I think I asked you this the last time you were on the show. Why do you think that producers, the casting people, see you that way?
I mean, just quite honestly, I think I play a really good bitch. I think that, to just be frank about it, and I have a lot of fun doing it, and I think that shines through. So I think it also kind of has to do with being blonde and having arch eyebrows, and sort of my look tends to be a little icy. So I don't know. I think there's several things at play in it, but I think mostly just I like doing it. I just have a lot of fun.
Well, certainly the bad guys always get more attention.
Yes, well, I don't know.
Sometimes the better lines are written for them, too. I wanted to ask you, since we're talking so much about dogs, if you have any favorite movie dogs.
If I have, well, I must say I did fall in love with the one that I worked with in Beverly Hills Chihuahua, too. I am not for dogs that are bred. I'm not for dog shows. That's me personally. I would rather see people adopt them than breed them because there's 6 to 8 million of them being euthanized every single year. So I say that because the one that I worked with was a show dog, or is a show dog. It's a champion dog with a very high pedigree. And I don't know, my heart just went out to him because he was so pampered and fussed over, and I just kept thinking, God, I just wish this dog could go roll around in dirt and be a dog. But again, like his guardians treated him so well, and he was clearly very cared for. And this is the first movie that he had ever done too, so he was very skittish and didn't quite know what was going on, but he learned it as he went, and he was very smart and beautiful. So, I'll be excited for people to see him.
Do you have dogs?
Oh, yes. I have 2 rescue dogs of my own, as well as 2 cats that I rescued.
Cats and dogs. I guess we need to see you in the Cats and Dogs sequel then.
I'll do it. Pretty much anything with animals, I'll be there.
There you go. And, Elaine, lots of people love dogs. I mean, I have 2. They're roaming around right now. One is a rescue dog. But not everybody becomes an activist. What kind of put you in that direction?
I have always loved animals. I've always done things to help animals, but what changed it for me, what kind of was the tipping point that made me decide to really devote my life to it and be a very, very vocal advocate for them, was when I saw an undercover video on furring and the furring process. And I always tell people I'm not going to go into details because the undercover videos are really hardcore, and this one was no exception. But I saw a raccoon being skinned for its fur, and then just watching what happened to the raccoon and how it was treated. And then by the end of the video, it was in a pile, and its eyes were blinking, meaning that it was still alive. And watching that and seeing it and in such a graphic nature, my reaction was so visceral, and I wasn't expecting to have such a visceral reaction. I literally doubled over and was sobbing uncontrollably. And that seems kind of, extreme, but to me what was happening to that poor raccoon was beyond extreme. And as much as I loved animals and had been doing things for them, I had no idea. So it changed my life. It changed my life forever. And as I go along and as I meet people and as I spread the good word, as I like to call it, I find that more people are, the number one response I get was, I had no idea. I didn't know. And most people don't. So I think that people would make a lot of different choices if they did know what was happening to animals. I certainly did.
So, have you changed anything about what you do as a result of seeing that?
Oh, yeah. Everything changed, literally everything. My eating, the products that I buy, the vocabulary that I use, how I relate to the world, the choices that I make in clothing and cosmetics, all kinds of things have changed. My time, my energy that I devote to it. And helping animals is actually really, really easy to do, and it's primarily through your dollar, the almighty dollar. You just don't put any money, any of your precious resources towards anything that harms animals. So, for instance, you can go to your local drugstore. Out here in L.A., we have CVS or Walgreens, the Target even. There's several options now that are very affordable that if you just look on the back of your cleaning products, of your cosmetics, it'll say shampoos, anything like that, it'll say cruelty-free. So just buy those instead of the other products. That right there, that's a very easy thing to do. If you're looking for a companion animal in your life, don't go to a pet store. Don't go to a breeder. Go to your local shelter or go to a local rescue group. That's another easy thing. Don't buy fur, ever, ever, ever. Don't ever buy fur.
All right. Well, Elaine, before we go, looks like we've got one more call for you. Let's see what's up here. Hi, do you have a comment or question for Elaine Hendrix? 501. Hello.
I'm sorry. This is your next interview, E, and I called it on this number.
Oh, no problem.
But I support everything you're doing. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll hang up now. Goodbye.
That's fine. Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay. Well, that's never happened. That's another actor. That's Ray McKinnon, who's in The Blind Side. Sandra
Hi,
Bullock.
Ray.
He did in fact hang up. That's funny. I've never had interviews run into each other like that. Before that's weird. Last thing I want to ask you about though is you have this documentary. Speaking of which, Skin Trade, which I guess comes out this week. What's your involvement with that?
The filmmaker asked me to be a part of it, and I said absolutely. The premiere, in fact, is on Thursday night. And Shannon Keith is the filmmaker, and she had another film. The title is escaping me at the moment, but this is all about sort of the inside workings and busting some of the myths about the fur industry, particularly how glamorous it all is. It's not glamorous in the least. So I haven't seen it yet. I did an interview for it, and I will be at the premiere on Thursday. So I'm excited to see how it all came together.
Very good. Well, folks, listen. I'm sorry. Excuse me. You can watch the trailer for Elaine Hendrix's new film, Good Intentions, at the website www.goodintentionsmovie.com. You can also order the DVD there, or probably on MrMedia.com by the time you hear this. And you can keep up on Elaine's career at her website, which is ElaineHendrix.com. Follow her on MySpace, which is myspace.com/Elaine Hendrix. Her Twitter address, we're going to cover all the ground here, is twitter.com/Elaine, the number 4, and then animals. And check out the In Defense of Animals website, which is idausa.org. I think we covered most of it there. And watch for her in Beverly Hills, Chihuahua, too. Thank you, Elaine. And Elaine, always a pleasure to have you on the show, and please do come back anytime you like. It's always a delight.
Well, likewise. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And folks, for more interviews with your favorite TV and film stars, you can surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with Kirk Douglas, Billy Bob Thornton, Ted Ramey, Nathan Fillion, Christian Slater, Alicia Cuthbert, Ali Sheedy, and many more. And please take advantage of this great offer only for Mr. Media radio listeners. Go to www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia to get a free audiobook download of your choice when you sign up today. You'll be able to choose from 75,000 titles. Again, that's www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia for your free audiobook. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman or www.facebook.com/Andelman. Folks, I always appreciate when you give up a little piece of your day and come spend it with Mr. Media. Thanks for listening.